Okay, Harlan, if anybody can hear us, Harlan, you're still on mute,
I
and
should be off
you
mute
just you
now.
just took yourself off
I
mute.
just took myself. I can
Excellent.
hear me. No, I could hear me anyway. You can hear me. I guess that's
I
important.
can too. You're correct.
All right. Well, hey, folks, welcome to Sunday Evening Live. We're doing it a little bit different against the iTech Guru. Thomas has got us hooked up, and we're doing some things differently. I'm from my home office. Thomas, you look like you're from your living room. Your couch looks a
That's
whole lot more
correct.
comfortable than my
And there's
chair.
a to show the magic of television. I have a dachshund down in my lap here. So
I love it.
poor
The
guy.
dachshund is
Yeah.
joining us. So grab your pets, folks, and we'll have a good time. But we're here, and again, we can't be at the church as we've been in the past because of all the situation that's going on. And one of the things that we want to talk about is just what is going on at the church. I know a lot of folks, you haven't been up there, and I know tomorrow we're going to be moving some tables and chairs tomorrow morning, I believe from 9 to noon. But folks, we don't want to, but we're not going to be letting folks back into the sanctuary or down towards the office area because of situations, safety situations in that. And so we're going to be doing, and right there you can see, right there's the office. That's when you walk in, that's what you look at. And in there are nails and glass and everything. There should be clearing that out this afternoon or this evening. There is again the ceiling of it and what is left of that. You've got everything going on. The sanctuary, that was the water. The water actually went to the back behind the sanctuary there, and we've had folks sucking water out as fast as they can there. They're doing the best they can. In fact, there's one of them that's So Clean, Troy business, in which they're helping out. They've been subcontracted out with the folks that we are dealing with, SRT Restorations. And so they're there cleaning and doing a great job trying to get the water out. Not sure what we're going to be able to save on there. If the carpet is going to be salvageable, or if we're going to have the pews worked on, because that's wood sitting in that water. So the bottom part of that pew on all the pews may have to be redone. And we're just waiting to find out on that.
And Harlan, just to kind of clarify, the concern is mold, really, right?
Yeah, our concern is mold in there, and the carpet. Once that carpet gets real wet and damp too, the fibers and things can start releasing, and it can start falling apart too. So that's the thing that we're hopefully getting rid of. But the mold is my number one concern. And the fact that water got also, it got up against the walls. Sheetrock, we know, has absorbed some of it. And so some things are probably going to have to be done there, maybe. What we're hoping is after they do this, hopefully they're going to be bringing in a couple of days a big heater fan, uh, and pull out the humidity and heat the place up, and we can dry it out and not have to have uh, new carpet and that. But if so, we have insurance. We've just heard from, in fact, I literally, before we went on the air, just talked to the insurance adjuster. We've been assigned, and we'll be meeting with him later on. So, folks, a lot of stuff, it has gone on. Downstairs education had water in it. Upstairs, we're good. And so we'll be looking at seeing what we can do if it's possible after we get the okay health wise, making sure, again, I'm worried about mold and stuff like that. I want to make sure it's safe for folks to come in. But what we're possibly looking at doing is maybe moving the offices upstairs temporarily, obviously, to the education uh, building, because we do have phone up there. We've got internet access up there. And so if we can do that, and that way we can still be doing things. Our computer, the office computer is completely destroyed. A lot of electronics were completely destroyed. Um, uh, I mean, Thomas, tell folks what you saw, man. I mean, you walked into, and I think if you're like me, you just went, wow.
Yeah. Well, then that was really the big part of it. Came in and computers destroyed, sheetrock had just collapsed. It's a large heap of gunk, basically, is what you have. And so even walking around, unless you have boots on, you're going to get your shoes probably wet and messed up from all that. And so I'd say it's definitely something we don't want people up there by any means. We don't want anybody up there. And it is just as bad as it looks. Although, like I said, we've already made some progress. Yesterday, Carrie and her husband and Matt Cannon came up, and us and Rhonda and Kathy, and cleared out quite a bit of needed items that have been taken upstairs.
Yeah. And we want to make sure that we get the important stuff. But the other thing is we've got to be careful as we move things, because we have to itemize everything that has been destroyed for insurance purposes. And so that's why we just can't have people up and just start moving and throwing stuff out, because everything has to be itemized, because everything costs something. I mean, even the wall clock, you got to itemize it. You need to know. It's just not, you just don't toss those. And so that's why we're just being very careful, and again, letting people up, but also we need to be wise to make sure that we get insurance pays for what it's supposed to pay for on that. But it's the thing that's really impressed me, Thomas, is the fact that, and folks, if you have any questions, I think, Thomas, they can ask you those questions.
Yeah.
You're able to see them, right?
Yeah, we're just like we normally would be.
Yeah, just like you
Facebook.
normally do. If you have questions or comments, you can just do as you normal, and Thomas will let us know what they are, and we will answer them, or whatever there. But the thing that's impressed me is the folks that have contacted, say, hey, what can we do? How can we help? And obviously it's prayers that we want, but people willing to step in. And that's what I see all around Troy is people. And that's what I've told the news people that come up and says, what about this? I go, man, Troy is like just one big family. I mean, people jumping in together, helping one another, caring for one another. And that's the amazing thing, because folks, this has been unprecedented. Folks have been able to get out without electricity. I think the official low on that Monday morning was a -1. And so you've got this big catastrophe, but you've got a bigger heart with the people of Troy stepping in to help one another. I know, Thomas, you've got some things there that you've got, and I'll let you just kind of go.
Well, as every Zoom meeting I've been a part of it, we rehearse it, and now I've got to remember and go back and figure out how I made it do what I wanted to do. So I'm going to share my screen.
This is an experiment. We're trying to see how this is going to work. So welcome to Guinea Pig here, because this will possibly allow us to do some different things in worship while we're out of the sanctuary, and for other different things. So hang in here with us.
So one thing, and we promoted tomorrow at 9 a.m. Those who can be available, we're going to be moving some of the larger items from downstairs. I guess to upstairs, or to a place yet to be determined is kind of the focus there. And
yes.
I think we should be done by noon.
We should be done by noon. And folks, let me tell you right now, come in the glass doors at the education building, that you got to go up the steps to those glass doors at the parking lot there. Also, masks are required. COVID is still out there, folks. So masks are required, but also it will help out alleviating some of the mold and mildew that might be in there.
Yeah, I mean, basically what collapsed was what was in the attic, and so any of the dust and anything like that, to the best of my knowledge, we should be clear on anything dangerous that would have been up there. There's no asbestos or anything, right. But the fibers of everything will be up there, and it's dust, and so you do want to be cautious of that, especially with the masks.
Yeah, so you will need to have masks, and you will not be allowed to go past down to the office or the sanctuary. Again, just for safety reasons, and the fact of people could be, some of the folks may be working in that. So just know that.
Yeah. So kind of the joke, and I'll admit, I was surprised. Last Sunday we did we did it like this because of of just icing. And then the next morning we wake up and have no electricity. And I think vast majority of people in Troy did not have electricity. And so we ended up, made it the first day and said, okay, we can make it. And the second day, due to some equipment issues we had for our son, we ended up, we moved it up to Waco, up to the KWTX building where I work out of. And actually, I had been officing out of the church of all places. And then so we got to, my boss let us come up there and we stayed. And the first thing I thought of when we got back Thursday was I showered. You know, we talk about the voting. I showered, and I think a lot of us did too when we were able to get back to our houses.
I think we need to make a lot of those up and just wear, because I think that was one of the best things we could have done.
Even during non-icy weather. But what I was impressed with, now, you know, it was access was spotty to internet different times, and I know a lot of people didn't have access, even in some cases with cell phones. But I think what I was impressed with the most, and here's some, you know, so I took some screenshots from the Troy Parents page. It's a good page to be a part of if you're in the Troy area. Just Google Troy Parents United, not Google, I'm sorry, Facebook, search Troy Parents United, and that you can, and typically you can get in. But Craig Coleman, he's a regular in our town. He was posting his thanks to people for simple things like a shower and coffee. You know, and I saw posts like that from different people, and this is just a small sample. This isn't everybody, obviously. We had people offering bread and food and diapers and milk and everything throughout the whole time, this whole process. And so there's a old saying is, I know who I'd want in my foxhole, and it'd be these people all around, just given the kindness they were showing each other and everyone. Same with people helping each other. A big issue we've been having right now, and in a minute we're going to kind of do a wrap up with resources people are needing. But broken pipes in garages and homes. I mean, there's probably 3 or 4 people down my street that I specifically know of, and I'm sure there's others. I've seen restoration companies the last 2 days down the streets, but people have had plumbing issues. We fared well and didn't have plumbing, but I know others were not that fortunate, and some of our own members at our church had pipes burst. Electricity has been the biggest factor, and if I'm not mistaken, I think today Kobe Drive got their power on officially. Their area was one of the final holdouts, but that's as of today. They should have power. If not, definitely jump on and we'll hear about it. I know that even our politicians, local politicians, Hugh Shine and a few others chimed in and said that, hey, if you're having issues, contact us, and they definitely helped people get the information to the right sources. You know, and kind of to sum it up, I think just Jessica Salinas sums it up. Now, these aren't members necessarily of our church. These are just people that are in the community.
They're just good Troy people.
Good Troy people.
Yeah.
And she kind of, I think, summed it up the best. It's just, I truly have to say, I am so proud and thankful of our town. Way to go, Troy, Texas. And again, I think we saw this in Troy, and it was also statewide. We saw it all over the state. But, you know, we were looking at our own little local sphere of influence, and you see people helping each other. You know, just it was the kindness being shown. I mean, I won't break into tears, but it's one of those moments you might want to. As far as looking at if you're in need of help, just in, I got this email sent to my one of the email lists I'm on, CTLC. One problem a lot of people had, including us, is you came back, if you left your house, or even if you didn't, your refrigerator likely had shut down, and a lot of your food, unless you had other options or backup power, probably spoiled. And so
and that's it. That's the same thing with us. We lost all of the food in our freezers, most of it in our refrigerator. And I drove by, and folks, I just want to tell you, I drove by Sam's going to the church this afternoon just to check on things. And there were lines around Sam's, so people waiting to get in. There are lines at HEB of people waiting to get in. There are lines of people trying to get food. And so this is a great resource right here to help you out in that interim period of time as you're trying to restock.
Yeah, so from 12:30 to 3:30 tomorrow, CTLC will be giving out food for families. It's 704 West Avenue G in Temple. So that's something to take note of. As far as what's needed in the area, and this is kind of an open-ended question. Let's see if I can go to the next slide here, is, what are Yeah. What do you need? You can contact us at outreach@fbctroytx.org. We'll aid as best as we can. It may be us just saying, hey, we can't offer it, but we know somebody that might be able to, or we can contact people. Plumbing right now is a big issue. I want to say electricity for the most part has come back into play. Water for some families, some water systems were on boil orders. No, fortunately, a lot of them are coming off the boil order status, but there's still some that are in need of water, and just basic items. I think milk is a commonly requested item that I've been seeing people ask about, and so if you're in a position to, definitely, if you can stock up and help somebody, great. You can be on the Troy Parents page. You can also, if you're a member in the First Baptist Church membership group, there's a difference than our page, and there's also a group. Ask questions. The worst thing we can say is we'll try to find somebody.
Well,
And others may see it too. That's the key, is we may not, but others may see you post that.
And true. And one thing, Thomas, too, I will say, it may be something you say, well, I don't need anything, but I have something.
Exactly.
And if you will contact us just at this outreach@fbctroytx.org and let us know, say, I have this. So if somebody does say, I need this, we can put y'all together. That would help out right there. And folks, let me just, again, the church office is obviously closed, and we'll be checking our email through our phones. And so you can still email us. You can, call me, text me, those type things. I'm still, you can still reach me that way. The church phones do not work. They are offline. So you cannot reach us through our church phones. So if you will just use this outreach at fbctroytx.org, or if there's anything else that questions or things that you might have, I believe it's fbctroytx@fbctroytx.org. So
yeah, that will go directly to, I believe, Carrie, if I'm not mistaken. So
okay.
This is more of a group. This will go to yourself and Chris and Carrie and me too. I'm on this as well, so we'll see it. But honestly, if you're used to emailing one thing, you continue. There's no reason you have to change. It's just, this is kind of a group we've set up. And I think this is the end. Yeah, that was the end. And so really the key things people are needing right now are milk, water, and probably basic toiletry items. Like we're kind of full circle back and needing toilet paper again. I don't think that's been as big of a problem this time. I think we were able to get what we needed, but and that's it. Prayer would be the other final.
And I think prayer and folks, and I said it in the message this morning, and or as I was doing the announcements or whatever you want to call it this morning before the message, and there are a lot of people that have, we obviously pray for the church, I pray for the ministry staff as we try to figure out what to do, how to continue with ministry, but especially pray for those who have lost things around Troy. Again, I don't live at the church. I mean, I can do things differently. My house has not been destroyed, but there's folks whose houses, they've been destroyed by floods because of broken pipes or other things like that. And lift them up in prayer. You may not know their name, but just, Lord, those people, we need to be constantly lifting them up. I do know I've had a couple of people ask me, well, how do they get their tithe checks? How do they give to the church? Continue to give. If you're in the Troy, if you're living there in Troy, if need, give us a call, get on the email, say, hey, I need somebody to come pick up my tithe check. We will send somebody out to pick up your gifts. There's been folks say, well, what can we give for this? And again, we can pick up your check, but we also have our online giving that I would encourage you to use because quite honestly, it gets to us that much quicker. It gets to our account quicker. But you can get online, and Thomas will tell you what that is.
Yeah.
I have
it's
no
FBC.
clue. I've got it set up, so it just goes.
It's fbctroytx.org/giving. Also, though, if you go to, and let me see if I can pull up a website here. If you go directly to the website, just fbctroytx.org, you can actually see there's a giving section, and it should probably spell this correctly here. There we go. And you can do that as well, but it's fbctroytx.org/giving. Of course, it never loads as fast as I want it to when I want it to
That's it.
load. But here we go. And so online giving, you can go here and you can donate that way as well.
Yeah. And it is secure, folks, on that. But make sure if you type in FBC, make sure you put in Troy TX. Make sure the TX goes in. Otherwise, you get to Troy, Michigan, First Baptist Church, Troy, Michigan.
And they would too
So,
appreciate your funds, but
and they'll appreciate it too. But you may be watching, not a member of the church, and will say, "Man, how can I help in this?" That is the way. If you'll just put in there, put general. You can go out and you can just put reconstruction or something like that. We'll know where it needs to go, and that will help us out. Because there's a lot of things that we're going to have to get that isn't necessarily a building thing that has been affected by this. And so it would help us out on that. And so that's a way you can give.
Yeah, and one thing I'll share, kind of, you were talking about, you had talked to some media outlets, KWTX, KX6, well, KCEN, I don't know if XV was in there or not, but, and Fox, you had talked to a few of those affiliates. And one thing that they've all universally shared has been our Facebook post. And to kind of, I'm a stats and numbers guy, and just to show kind of the reach that we've had just from this message. And again, we're not the only church. There's other churches that are in dire straits and probably worse off than what we were in this case. I want to make sure we state that you know, in the grand scheme, we probably fared better than many. But this particular post right here has reached over, and this is something I see because I'm an admin, 22,000, almost 23,000 people have been reached, 5,400 engagements, 50 comments, 131 shares. And so that adds up and that builds up to a lot of people who've been made aware of this over the past 4 days. So.
And so, you know, that's a good thing right there. I mean, because the more people we can have praying for us, I mean, the better it is. But as Thomas said, other churches have been greatly affected. I know of those that have been pipes bursting and flooding on that. Thomas, do we have any questions or comments from anybody? I think Chris is on there somewhere.
He was, and we've actually had a few. Let me get over to that. Tim Berg is asking, is it better to designate or just give to general fund? So that's the first question he had.
Tim, actually, that's an excellent question. Personally, I would prefer general funds. And the reason I say that opens up how we can use it to best hit our needs so that we don't have to, we may have a lot of people wanting to give to the building and maybe they might adjust how they give. This allows us to continue doing ministry. It also allows us, because building funds, if we give to a building fund, that is only there for what it is for the maintenance of the building. Computers are not building. We've got to buy new computers. That's an office. And so that if you go general, that will then allow us a greater flexibility of how to use to meet the needs right now to get us back up and going in the way we need to. That's a great question. But if somebody wants to just designate a building fund, hey, God bless you. We'll take it.
Right. So as far as the other questions, I mean, that was it. Yeah, so that's all I see. Neil on our other chat system said hello, Spike, and Spike replied with Arf, Gruff, and Bark. So he's currently below my computer right now, but
yeah. Well, and and folks, a lot of folks have heard about this and praying. As I read this morning, Osvaldo, the pastor of the church in Honduras that we went to mission, his church and his people, the missions at his church, they're praying for us. And that's what really struck me is here's somebody I didn't know till a couple of years ago. And now that he's my brother and he's concerned for us, we have that link, that family, that Christian family, that only Christians and believers can have. And what a great thing it is. I think it's phenomenal. And they don't have anything financially to send us in any way. They're keeping going, but man, they're sending prayers up for us. And I so much appreciate that. And if Oswaldo is watching or catches this later, man, I appreciate him and pray for him every day. Anything else we got going, Thomas?
No, sir. I believe that's it for the moment. Just kind of a recap, or activities are currently on pause. I guess anything that would have been at the church is on pause. Maybe not canceled. Would that be a fair way? It's
Well,
just
we're,
we're
we're
getting
just going to say
because
paused.
we've got the men's breakfast coming
Yeah.
up and things
Yeah.
like that, which may
We're,
be just moved. I don't know. Could be a Kirk Bailey
we're going to call
question.
it an indefinite pause. And what I will do is I'm going to get with Kirk Bailey on the men's breakfast, and we're going to take a look and see where we're at. That was on March the 7th, I believe, at 6:45 a.m. That was going to be in our fellowship hall. It may be doable. I don't know. Again, once we see how things go this week and next week, it may be doable to start getting up there. So we're just going to kind of pause, and we'll send out information on that as we get a little bit closer to it of what we're seeing on that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all I had on my end.
Well, that's about it there, and it looks like, man, we're about at the 6:30 mark on this. If my watch is correct on here, and folks, I just want to say, for those of you watching, man, I appreciate it. Again, we're doing something a little different here with the way Zoom Thomas has got us set up, so that we can communicate to y'all. But it's also, as we're doing it, looking at how we can use this in our Sunday morning worship, where Chris can be involved, I can be involved, and we can have a little bit more, few more things going on if we can. And so we're just kind of playing around with this. I do want to let you know that unless something happens, I am planning on our Monday evening prayer tomorrow at 6 o'clock. That is only on Facebook Live, so jump on that. And any prayers and praises, and I know we've got a lot of prayers that we need to lift up, folks, but there's also a whole lot of praises. If your lights came back on, that's a praise. If you're in good health, then that's a praise. If you've got water, that's a praise. There's If you're breathing, that's a praise. So we've got that, and then Wednesday, good Lord willing, and if I can get it all finished up, we'll continue on in the epistles of John in doing that, and so we'll go that route with it. And then Thomas, I think you got the rewind probably Thursday, correct?
That's the plan. I've got to download ours. Well, let's spare you the details tech side, but short answer, yes, that's my goal, is to get us something
That's the
posted.
goal. So yeah, look for that. And other than that, then we'll see or you'll see us. So I don't know we'll necessarily see you, but you'll see us the next Sunday morning for worship. Guys, again, man, thank y'all for joining us. Thomas, thank you for getting this going, man. I appreciate it, and I need to get me a fancy little ear thing and microphone. You can tell he's a
People accuse me of playing games all the time. So,
but anyway, guys, we're glad that you joined us, man. Y'all be safe, and again, if you need anything, please let us know, and especially prayers. We want to pray for you. And if you have anything that you think can help others, let us know, and we'll see if we can hook y'all together. Y'all, stay warm, be safe.